From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
State funding often means go rather than no for projects in local communities, and Hazleton's received a windfall. Community development money on the way, our top story on News 13 for this Friday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Wazinski. The city's community development program has run into some serious cash. Christina Papa explains how that extra money could be used to move city projects forward.
Hazleton's Community Development Block Grant Program is seeing more dollar signs than they expected this year.
We had originally intended for $632,000. However, HUD informed us earlier this month that we were going to be getting a $90,662 increase.
That extra moolah from the Housing and Urban Development allows the city to present a modified budget to the council.
So we have put the funds both in clearance and administration.
If the budget passes, $72,530 would be placed in clearance. That money would be saved for demolition projects, but only used in emergency situations.
The demolition of the house that sat right behind me on McKinley Street may have been funded by the Community Development Project because it was a source of imminent danger to the people in the surrounding area.
In case something like that would happen in the future and the owner of the property doesn't have the funds or cannot demolish the property, we look to CDBG funds to possibly do that.
As a rule of thumb, HUD allows for 20% of the budget to go to administrative costs, so the other $18,132 would be placed in administration.
And that means salaries, engineering services, things like that.
That ordinance was passed during the first reading at last week's city council meeting. But the funds aren't just being tossed around. Mayor Yanuzzi and Community Development looked at where the money could be best used.
And then what I do is I look at everything and I say, okay, where can the money be used? What can we do with the money? And then I discuss with the mayor my ideas.
Because our biggest problem is trying to get money for emergency demolition. We've had some situations where we had dangerous situations where we did not have money.
If the modification passes all three readings, that money could possibly be available by September. However, Housing and Urban Development would have to approve that idea before any money could be used. Christina Papa, News 13, Hazleton.
Huge drug raid in Wilkes-Barre yesterday, and one man from Hazleton, another from Rice Township among the suspects rounded up. 38-year-old David Castro of Hazleton was one of those arrested as part of an ongoing investigation into what's being called a major drug trafficking organization. So was 45-year-old Freddie Reyes of Rice Township. Investigators say they were both part of a ring that brought huge quantities of cocaine, marijuana, and meth in from New York City and sold it locally. Agents from the state attorney general's office and all across Luzerne County moved in yesterday to make the arrests of Castro, Reyes, and three others whom they call high-ranking drug traffickers. They executed the raid on two businesses on Hazel Street, Master Barber Shop and Idley's Furniture, which is right across the street. The AG's office called the business the hub and epicenter of the illegal drug operation. All five suspects in the Luzerne County prison tonight. Well, he may have contributed to a death, but he didn't commit murder. That was the decision of a jury in Schuylkill County on Thursday. A jury decided that Keith Roeber of Schuylkill Haven may have kidnapped and endangered Brian Smith by tying him to a tree, but didn't kill him. They returned a verdict of involuntary manslaughter against Roeber. The jury deliberated for about 5 hours before reaching that decision. Prosecutors said that Roeber took Smith hostage and left him strapped to a tree for 20 hours as punishment for Smith trying to steal his girlfriend. Smith died while tied to that tree. Roeber remains in the state correctional facility. He's facing a sentence of 24 to 49 years in prison. It's a nationwide way to fight back from the horrible bombings at the Boston Marathon, and today it traveled across northeastern Pennsylvania. When it reaches its final destination in Boston, the One Run for Boston will travel more than 3,000 miles through 14 different states. Runners from across the U.S. and beyond will run day and night, and today they ran through Tamaqua. They're trying to complete the run within the next few days, and in order to keep the relay running on schedule, runners have to be able to maintain an average pace of 6 miles per hour for the duration of their stage. But News 13 still caught up with some local runners.
Excited. I mean, it's neat. I mean, we read about it in Runner's World. It's all that it's about. It's just really exciting to be part of this relay, and and sharing it with friends and people running across the country. They got a great Facebook page where we've been following everybody across the country. it's a great time and it supports a great cause.
Those entry fees all go directly to a special fund, and money raised is being used to help the people most affected by the tragic events at the Boston Marathon. And coming up on News 13, the wet weather continues pretty much till further notice. We'll tell you about one break of sunshine just ahead on News 13 weather. But first, one thing all the rain is good for is growing things. How are local farmers faring? We'll tell you just ahead on News 13. How about some produce straight from the farmer's field? Well, then just stop by a local farmer's market. There are a handful in our area, and as Matthew Petrillo tells us, taking a bite out of local produce is good for the community.
Driving through Shenandoah may look like any other city in the area, but its farmer's market includes some of the best produce around. Its secret? Farmer John Rumble says being local.
Well, they know where it's grown, for one thing, and they know who grew it. If they come to the market, well, they know that we grew the product that's for sale. So they know, if they know us, why they know what the product's like.
Rumble's farm is just 5 miles from here on Main Street in downtown Shenandoah. He's been selling a rainbow of produce here at this farmer's market for nearly 3 decades, including everything from blueberries and strawberries,
tomatoes, asparagus, and we have string beans and pickles and cucumbers and zucchini.
Now, farming isn't an easy business, especially when you have to rely on old Mother Nature for your bottom line. This year was especially cold and frigid for farmers. But these types of markets help bring farms closer to people.
If you don't come around, they miss you. They'll let you know right away.
The farmers market in Shenandoah runs every Tuesday and Friday, but today's Lois's first day here this summer.
I had 2 or 3 phone calls already as to why we weren't in, but this year or this season has been exceptionally difficult. It was cold and it was dry and things didn't start out, and we're still behind with a lot of the crops. So there wasn't anything to sell until now.
And even though grocery stores might have every produce imaginable, 365 days a year, she says the markets help people have a better understanding of where their food comes from. And John agrees.
It's a fun thing and try something new.
Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Shenandoah.
Well, you may have noticed a detour or some delays on your way to work this morning, and PennDOT is still working to fix that problem. Route 309 was closed between Broad and 15th Streets in Hazleton after Thursday night's rain. The waters flooded the road and washed out a sewer line project that was being worked on for the last few days. PennDOT opened one lane of the road today, but crews still will be working to fix that problem at least for part of next week.
What they're expecting is that by the end of the day today, they're going to put the plates back on and they'll have traffic flowing through here. They'll come back early next week and they're going to do some final work that they normally do here, the paving and the concrete work. That should be done early to the mid part of next week, and they'll be completely done with this area and out of here at that point.
Yesterday's flooding caused other problems in the area as well. It knocked out power at Hazleton General Hospital, forcing its emergency generators to kick in. Everybody there doing fine, however. No report of any problems. And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, just the pattern we're in. Showers, thunderstorms, some severe at times, move through every afternoon and evening. Some rough going last night, as we all experienced, and seems this pattern is going to continue probably into next week. Our creative condition, we definitely need a rainbow after yesterday's severe storms. It's by Elizabeth Nazario Christian, a student at Arthur Elementary, and she says she likes to see rainbows after a storm. So do we. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Guess what? Showers and thunderstorms likely right through the overnight with a low around 61 degrees. But then Saturday, partly sunny at least for a while, but with a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, a high up to 77. Chance of showers and thunderstorms continuing right through the night with a low around 63. And heading to Schuylkill County for tonight, showers likely, possibly a thunderstorm right through the overnight. Now some of the storms in that area could be severe, so be careful. Low around 62. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, a chance of showers and evening thunderstorms, a high of 81. Those storms continue right through the night with a low around 62 degrees. Well, it may have been pouring rain last night, but that didn't stop one local barbecue from happening. Hazleton Power held its outdoor summer social at Cousin Joe's in Cunningham Thursday evening, but unfortunately, heavy rain forced pretty much all the fun indoors. For free hot dogs and hamburgers, as well as a guest speaker talking about different attractions and events all throughout the area. Power says that these socials are great because it helps get the word out on what the organization is all about.
We have people who come from all over the area to just kind of hang out with us and have fun, but we also have a chance to talk about what Power's up to for the summer, what's happening in the region, how individuals can contribute or businesses can contribute. So this is a great chance for us to just continue the conversation.
And Power continues to host Movies at the Markle. That's going to run through September, as well as continuing their graffiti paint-out events and the Downtown Mural Project. Well, it's time for everybody's favorite 4th of July tradition, fireworks. Displays are being put on all across the area starting tonight. And here's a look at where you can see them. And everybody's a winner when it comes to fireworks. Now let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play the daily. 848, Big 4, 5945, the Quinto 01670, and the treasure hunt 5, 14, 18, 24, 29. You won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Tamaqua Area School District is currently seeking applications for the position of assistant cheerleading coach for the 2013-14 school year. Interested candidates may contact the Tamaqua Athletic Department. And finally, the Hazleton Art League will be hosting the folk band Clayton Ravine on Saturday, June 29th. 3 other bands will be joining them. Doors open at 6 with a suggested donation of just $5. Light refreshments will also be served. For more info, please call 570-817-1075. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Claire A. Denian of Hazleton. Funeral will be held Monday at 10 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. William D. Cunningham of Barnesville. The David D. Jarrett Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Marceline R. Marcy Marino of Hazleton. Funeral is Saturday at 10 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Teresa Brill Mosley, formerly of Hazleton. No services were announced. Ivan A. Ivy Michael of Hazel Township. Funeral is Saturday at 10:30 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Saturday from 9:30 to 10:30. Anna Cheslakowski of West Hazleton. Funeral is Monday at 9:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m. And Jean M. Wisnoskis of Shenandoah. The Lukowitz-Orovitsville Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on lunch and packages.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
Well, 4 and 4 make 8, and 8 is the number of Little League teams left in the District 11 and 12-year-old tournament in District 18. Now split them right in half. Go back to the 4 and 4. 4 in the winner's bracket and 4 in the elimination bracket. Let's take a look because all of the games are really just minutes away from starting here. Let's take a look. Tonight, in the winner's bracket, you've got a matchup between Lansford and Jim Thorpe down in Lansford. And in the other winner's game, it's Tamaqua and Valley West, 2 of the perennial powers, District 18 Little League Baseball. That one is going to be played at Tamaqua, so I guess if you time it right, you can race between Lansford and Tamaqua, catch some of each game. But there are the 4 teams left, as we said, in the winner's bracket. When it's all said and done tonight, we'll be down to 2 in that winner's bracket. Now, in the elimination bracket, 4 teams still alive. Keep in mind they all have 1 loss. It's Hazel Township and Valley East down in Butler Township, and you got Talminzing in Tri-County, that one being played up in the woods of Talminzing Township. The losers here will be eliminated from the tournament, so you're going to have 2 more people take their place in that losers bracket, but 2 teams go by the wayside tonight, and that'll put down the district numbers to 6. as we head for the district championship. In the 9-10 bracket, well, as we had predicted, rain was going to be a problem last night, so they're going to try again. Valley East and Valley West, that'll be in West Hazleton Field 1, and you got West Hazleton and Hazleton at Field 2. So we're going to try to get Little League action in for you tonight and through the weekend. We'll wait and see. West Kansler played Little League baseball down at Whispering Willow Park in Cunningham. I remember it. But yesterday, Kansler had the collar on. He was 0 for 4 in the first game as the Norfolk Tide got drilled by Columbus 10-3. And in the nightcap, the Tide came back and shut him out 5-0. Kansler did get on base with a walk and scored, but he was hitless in the nightcap as well. Rain, go away. That was the case yesterday for the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs and the Rail Riders. Both of them were rained out, and that's going to set up double dips today. There you go. You got Columbus and the Tide, and then there's the double dips with the Rail Riders at Syracuse and the Iron Pigs hosting Durham. In the major leagues, well, let's take a look. The Phillies continued their West Coast swing in Los Angeles last night. Now, Chase Utley got things off on the right foot for the Phillies as he goes yard. He's been swinging the bat very much like the Chase Utley we remember on this West Coast trip. So we will see. You never know. But that wasn't enough. Even though the Phillies pounded out 14 hits last night, the pitching faltered. And the Dodgers, who have really been struggling this year, they feasted on the Phils last night. Final 6-4. The Dodgers get the win. Phils will be there for the entire weekend, so they'll be doing it again tonight out on the left coast. There you see it, Phils at Dodgers. The Rays are going to be hosting the Detroit Tigers down at the Trop. Yankees go for a weekend series in Baltimore. The Mets host Washington. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, you know, they are playing as well as they've played a long time, but they always struggle with Milwaukee. So let's see. It'll be a very interesting series this week in Pittsburgh. Tonight's sports brought to you by Mountain Speedway, Mill Mountain Road in St. John's. And here's a look at what's coming up this weekend. On Saturday, well, they've got the huge fireworks display plus modifieds, sports modifieds, the late models and the street stocks. Don't forget about the factory stocks and the 4-cylinders as well. Just $10 for grandstand admission. Kids under 10 are free. And if you're active military, student, or a senior, you get a $2 discount. There's the website and the phone numbers. You could call them and get all the information on the excitement of racing down at Mountain Speedway.
June 28th, the final Friday of the month. Hi, everybody. The Valley West 11 and 12 All-Stars meet Tamaqua this evening in Tamaqua. Both are 2-0 in the district tournament. Valley West has outscored their opponents 20-0, and Tamaqua has outscored their two opponents 34-6. So that one should be a good one. Valley East and Hazleton are also in the middle of the mix in All-Star play. Also, last Friday, Casat's 11-12s completed a perfect season with a win to go 18-0, claiming the Hazleton Little League Championship. What else? Well, strange things are happening. Doc Rivers is now a coach of the LA Clippers after saying goodbye to the Boston Celtics. NASCAR driver Martin Truex Jr. snapped a 218-race losing streak by winning for the first time in 6 years. Mother of God! The Pittsburgh Pirates swept the Angels in Anaheim for their first ever interleague road sweep. In London, tennis great Rafael Nadal, 8-time winner of the French Open, became a first-round Grand Slam loser at Wimbledon for the first time in his career. Also, Roger Federer and Maria Sharapova both upset in the second round. Zolo Almonte, who? In his first major league game, Almonte went 3 for 4, including a homer for the Yankees. The last-place Toronto Blue Jays won 11 straight games before losing to the Rays on Monday and Tuesday. Aaron Hernandez, who recently signed a $40 million contract with the New England Patriots, was arrested for murder. He's 23. After his arrest, the Patriots dropped him like a hot potato. $40 million down the drain. What a disappointment. Yes, strange things are happening. Not this. The Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. The UCLA Bruins won their first ever College World Series. W.Y. Land signed another contract to televise all 5 Cougar home football games again this coming season. This is not good news for booster clubs who are supporting the local football team, the band, and the cheerleaders. Viewing those games, especially the opener, allocates the attendance big time. Finally, last weekend, Pat Capice, a well-known class guy and very well-liked businessman, died taking with him a very long and impressive resume that started all the way back in 1945 when he proved his popularity by being elected mayor, Mr. Hazleton High School, and president of his 1946 HHS class. He was an excellent guard on the Mountaineers basketball team in 45 and 46. As a kid, I remember his shoe store that he owned and operated at 134 North Wyoming Street, across the street from where I lived at 137. My family bought our shoes there. I was his paper boy, and I watched his team, Capice's shoe store, play every Sunday at St. Joe's Gym before the Hazelton Hawks took the floor for his 3 p.m. games in the 1950s. Pat Hogan Capice was 84. Our condolences to his family and friends. Till Monday, be a good sport. Stay loose.
And we've got a program note to tell you about. Starting July 1st, this coming Monday, News 13, we're pretty excited. We're moving to a new time. We'll be going from our 4 p.m. time slot to live at 5, Monday through Friday. It's News 13, live at 5, starting on Monday, July 1st, this coming Monday. Watch us anytime at SSPTV.com. And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13. The 4th of July means fireworks, but you gotta be careful. We'll show you how. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.